Your Day Out podcast is proudly sponsored by Titan SARMS, Precision Wellness Group, and Pure Liberty Labs. Clinton Beaudel Dooley, how are you, man?
Denny, I am doing, we'll just say that. I'm still in the fight, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. It's been a minute. You were one of our first big time guests. That episode did really fucking well. That was it's still on my top 10 most downloaded episodes. So
Really?
people, people really love your story, man. That's a testament to the authentic and impactful nature of your story.
Oh, I'm sitting here looking at all your new interviews going, damn, dude, I should have waited around until I got all this new hotness, like you're killing it though, man. I see your feeds all the time, man. You're bringing on people. What they're saying is bold. It's brave. Yeah. It's what needs to be said. Just need more people to do it.
Yeah, man.
If every person who comes out and says just a little piece of their story, it's a puzzle piece. The way I look at it is it's kind of like a puzzle piece. I have a piece of the puzzle, you have a piece of the puzzle, and all your guests and all these other veterans have a piece of this puzzle. And the shame, the crying shame is when someone takes their life, they take that puzzle piece with them. And what we're trying to do is I think enough people are talking right now where we got the borders of the problem and, some of the, the depths of it are outlined, but it's taking all those other people to put their piece into the pot so we can figure out what the full picture looks like.
Yeah, man. So well said, dude. Fucking, it's like you're an author and a writer and polished.
I have none of those things. I wrote one book, a couple years ago, self-published it, and it just kind of was one of those things where it's like, well, I did my part. I hand it out to everybody that I meet that says that they're going through a difficult time or they know a veteran. And I mean, it's hard, man. It's hard to get the attention of a publicist. I reached out to literary agents and all that stuff. Never heard anything back. Like, whatever. But then that all sorted itself out at the beginning of this year. So
yeah. Well, dude, catches up. What have you been up to, man? It's been a while. It's been a few years.
Yeah. Well, I was medically retired from 7th Group back in May of 2022. My command let me spend that last year that I was in putting the book together. Yeah. The backdrop story to that is my last deployment. My first deployment was Iraq 2003, and then my last deployment as a Green Beret was in 2020. So I got back from that, and January of 21, my wife at the time came in. She found me completely shit-faced drunk with a gun in my head. And that's how the book kicks off. And the following day I went to I guess in the confusion and all that, I left the house and I went to my motorcycle club's clubhouse and I passed out on the couch. Well, that next morning when I wake up, my entire chain of command is around me. My company commander, sergeant major, team, club guys. Yeah. And I didn't have my gun on me when I sat up, my concealed carry. And I was like, oh shit, it finally happened. Yeah. I killed somebody. They're here to take me to jail. And when they told me I hadn't hurt anybody and what actually happened, I broke down, told them I needed help. And then I went to the hospital, and in the hospital setting for 30 days, I was kind of like in all these support groups and going, man, I wrote something like that. I wrote something like that. So eventually I got some of my writings sent to the hospital. I started sharing them with the staff and other veterans that were hospitalized with me at the time. And they're like, dude, this is great. Well, right before I left the hospital, I found out a former teammate, a guy from 110, one of my best friends, he killed himself. Mm-hmm. And all my old teammates from 110 were trying to get a hold of me going, bro, where are you at? We don't want to leave this on a voicemail, but EB's dead, man. He killed himself. Call us. And I had to call them back and say, brother, the reason why you can't get a hold of me is because 28 days ago, I almost did the exact same thing. I'm in the hospital right now. So from that, we put together the book. I told the guys, I was like, I think I'm going to write a book. And they're like, you write? I was like, yeah. They're like, you can barely spell. You're a smart Bravo. You need the hammer and the marquee, and you go up to the board and check your box. And I was like, no, I think I can do it. And eventually we put it all together and we published the book, self-published the book. From the time you and I did our interview together years ago, that was it. That was as far as I got it out of my head, got it with an editor, put it all into one package. Well, since then I posted it on Online Book Club. And I've gotten hundreds of reviews from non-military people reading it.
Yep.
And that was the encouragement that I needed to say, okay, we still need to do another final round of editing. I'm not happy with the book as it sits. So we trimmed it down from 230 something pages down to like 176, really like taking out all the repetitiveness and just sticking with the message of it's okay to ask for help. No one's going to pull your man card. If you really want the world around you to get better, you need to focus on the world inside of you.
Yep.
You are manifesting, scary things around every corner because that's just your frame of mind. Everything was speed, surprise, violence of action. When I was going to the grocery store, speed, surprise, violence of action, speed, surprise, violence of action. It wears you down. You know how this goes. You don't sleep. And then you start drinking to help knock yourself out. And this is the interesting part, is that after a couple of really long bouts of, heavy drinking, some of the guys from the motorcycle club, they were like, do you remember anything? I'm like, nah. He's like, you were crying. I was like, really? That doesn't sound like me.
Yeah.
And I eventually figured out what that was. What that was that the exterior was saying, I don't have strong emotions. I'm fine. I'm mission capable. I'm good to go. I'm in the green. But my subconscious was full. And when I consciously checked out because of all the booze, all that other aggression and stuff and all that hurt and trauma came to the surface. It was in that I was like, fuck, after I got through writing the book, I was like, I still don't feel like I feel like I have a lot of work left to do. And life kept hitting me over and over and over again. An example of that was I was in Colorado for the SFA convention a couple years ago, and we were the guys with the Special Forces Brotherhood. We were riding through the mountains, and the guy that I went up there with from Duke Field, he died right next to me in a motorcycle accident.
Oh,
and that, we're putting out, we're on the side of the road. We're doing the medevac thing. I'm contacting his wife and his family. And it brought so much shit up to the surface. And I started drinking again that night. But I was able to put a bottle on it. I was like, no, don't go down this road anymore. But the fuse was lit.
Yeah.
Trauma with I don't know how you put it. Your natural reaction to trauma is to shut down, drink, and now all of a sudden you need something to fight. You need something to focus this anger on.
Yeah.
And in that, a lot more damage to my relationship with my wife happened because of that. It was back and forth, back and forth. I was kicked out, I'm back, kicked out, I'm back. And then my favorite aunt in the entire world died suddenly of a heart complication. I was like, oh shit. So I flew to St. Louis, and on the way back from St. Louis, I found out another immediate family member of mine was really, really sick. So I stayed in the ICU with them for a month. Thank God that all worked out. But then as soon as I got back here to Florida, I'm trying to patch things up. My grandmother, basically the woman who raised me, died. And a month after that, Meredith and I finally called it quits, and I'm getting a divorce after 18 years. So I literally sat in this chair. I didn't have this place. I had to get this place. So I sat in this chair, and I probably looked at an empty fireplace. I didn't have any furniture or anything. I just looked at that empty fireplace for about 90 days, not just numb, couldn't move.
No.
And slowly but surely, there was an interesting, I was telling this story to somebody the other day, but we were in selection. We've all been there, right? You're on the final track, and a buddy from mine who was a former Marine, he was in my team week, and he rolled his ankle over and over and over again. And I went up to Jared, and I was like, Jared, hey man, I know we're not supposed to, buddy up on this, but I'll walk with you. We'll get you to the finish line. And we're about 5 miles out from McCall, and Jared just limping along. I can't do it anymore. I need to take a break. And he sits down on the side of the road.
Oh no.
And then I sat down right next to him. And the moment my butt hit that dirt, it's the same feeling I had in this chair. It was, if you don't get up right now, if you don't get up right now, you are never going to get up. You are not going to achieve what you know you have in you to achieve, but you have to get up right now. And as soon as I stood up on the side of the road with Jared, man, my feet had already swollen like 3 sizes because I took the pressure off him. I get his ass up. He finished, I finished, and that's kind of what we did with with life that kept hitting, I was helping a buddy of mine put together a CrossFit gym that he owns, and I told God, I told the universe, I told, my higher power, I was like, I need help. I'm off the path, and I need people that can help me. And a week later, this guy that I was just helping him put together CrossFit stuff, he calls me up and he's like, "Hey, I just got an invite for this trifecta study. I can't do it, obviously, but I instantly thought of you." I was like, "What is it?" And he goes, "I think you'll go to Mexico and do some drugs." And I'm like, "I'm in. Say no
Mexico
more.
drugs, are you in?
Say no more. I'll bring my own fighting chicken. I don't care. Whatever the custom thing is."
This episode is also brought to you by Precision Wellness Group. Getting your hormones optimized shouldn't be a difficult task, and Dr. Taylor Bosley has changed the game. Head on over to precisionwellnessgroup.com, enroll, and become a patient today.
And it was the trifecta study. And the trifecta study is 3 things. He sends you down to Ambio Clinic in Tijuana, and they do the 5-MeO DMT combined with the Ibogaine treatment.
Yeah.
Brother, I can't say enough good things about that clinic and the professionalism of it. It was definitely an experience.
Bro, let's dive into that, because I did a journey here. I had a shaman come to the house.
Woo!
Old Ranger Regiment guy that became skilled in the medicine, did 5-MeO DMT
You
in
are
the house.
You are the second person who told me about this guy. It's always this shaman Ranger Regiment guy. Whoever you are out there, God bless you, sir.
Brother, I mean, we went to war for 5 hours, man. I've never been, I never felt more at ease, more cared for. I mean, that dude was right there with you. The one, I mean, and it's progresses. The first one, it's it's nice and easy. You see some things, and then the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and that final one, man, like every single step of the way, that dude was there with you, like real, like you're going to war, and you got the best fucking dude. Who better to take you on that journey than a dude from Ranger Regiment?
Did he bring in like elephant tusks and all sorts of stuff?
Yeah, dude, he brought it all.
Same guy then.
It's brought it all, man. We went to war, and he brought every weapon system. And it's important too, because a big aspect of it is the sound, the vibrations. And for me, man, like when I started, I think the first one was very gentle. The second one was a little different, a lot of different experiences. That third one, the closest I can describe it to people, put your sci-fi hats on, folks, is that moment at Interstellar when Matthew McConaughey is getting pulled into the gravity of the black hole Gargantua, and you can see in the movie like the vibrations of the ship and pulling everything. That's the feeling all through, you're feeling all through your body, like you're moving into something new, and then boom, the medicine starts talking to you. You start engaging with something that's not from this plane of existence, and it's not showing you whatever intention you had. You did all the prep work, you had intention of what you wanted to do. The medicine looks at you and it says, okay, like, I understand, but this is what you need to see. This is what I'm here to show you. We're going to see this. And dude, like for me, I thought I was going into the things that it was right before my daughter was born. I thought I was facing all the things that I had gone through as a child, all the pain, all the agony, the things I hadn't let go of or made peace with. And that wasn't it. What I needed to see was, at one point, I did have a father, and I did have a father who loved me and cared for me. And my biological father, never really knew him. I had fragments of.
I remember you talking about him the first time.
Yeah, I had pictures that my biological mother had cut the head off. So I didn't have a understanding. I always saw these pictures with his head cut off. Brother, I experienced all those moments where he did hold me, where he did have that feeling of being proud to have a kid of me, not just any other kid, of me holding me as his son. And I'm like, oh shit. I always thought I didn't know what it was like to be loved by a father, to be cared for by a father figure. And medicine gave me that. It gave me the ability to see that. So then when I experience bringing my little one into the world, like, cause You know, a lot of people are like, I don't want to see that. No, I watched the entire thing. I saw that little head come all the way through. And when they rolled her over, that was the first, like, boom, locked eyes. I'm like, that's my
And
kid.
they tell you that with the ibogaine, they tell you what you're doing is, so to lay the groundwork here. There's really one thing that anybody watching this that hasn't had any type of these experiences, um, one thing that you have to wrap your mind around, and this is something I just kind of stumbled into in my early days of AA and some other
Hmm.
stuff back in the day. Um, was my sponsor at the time. He was like, Dooley, you seem to have a lot going for you, but you're stuck in this one area. And once you flip this, it's going to unlock something, and it's just an endless hallway of possibilities, and you need to go behind and look every door. And he said, you think that you're a human being here trying to have a spiritual experience. Reverse it. You're a
Yeah.
spiritual being here to have a human experience, to grow spiritually.
Yep.
And I was just like, for whatever reason, I knew that that was the truth. But it hit me, and it might be hitting somebody that's hearing this for the first time, listening to this, that is like, what? Like, yeah, think about it. Think
Yeah.
about it. Think about it. Where were you before you showed up here? Where are you going after this place?
Yep.
Think about it in that context. So then you start adding these. The earth has given us everything we need in order to remember our purpose here.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to get into some of the shamanism. You start to get into some of the psychedelics. You start to get into these reality altering. And I don't think it really alters reality. I think what it does is changes our vibration so we can then experience higher realities.
I think that's a key word, man. Like
They're always there.
yeah.
We are just vibrating at a lower frequency. Thus,
Yeah.
the lower is when you are at your lowest vibrational frequency is before you have a near death experience. There's something about a near death experience. There's something about being around life and death. War does that to you.
Yeah. That portal,
First
that
responders,
veil.
hospital, all of a sudden you become aware that this is a finite experience. It is here one minute, gone the next. And what does it all mean? Why is it that I can even contemplate my existence if it doesn't mean anything?
Yeah.
And then you start to kind of pull at that thread, and these psychedelics, one by one, I've had like only 3 or 4 experiences that really shook me up. The first one was a ketamine experience. We were in Afghanistan. One of our freaking Jundies had a
Allegedly.
huge,
Allegedly.
allegedly, and I had the great idea of figuring out, talking to one of the doctors if they could, we put under this guy, and he kept coming up to me every day, like after we fixed this huge cyst in his back, and he was talking to me through the interpreter, but he was basically, "What'd you give me? Can I have some more of it?" And I was like, I don't know. And so I had to ask the doc who did the procedure, and he was like, "Oh, that's just ketamine." And I was like, "What does ketamine do?" He goes, "It disassociates. It disassociates your
Yeah.
brain from your body, so we can hack off limbs and do all sorts of necessary field procedures." I was like, "Can I try?" And he's like, "No." And I kind of did what the Jundy was doing to me. I walked around, and he's like, "Fine, I'll put you out for 15 minutes." And as he's pushing it, fade to black. I broke apart into a billion pieces of energy, but I identified with one. And there was darkness, and I was going through like this wave, and I had no recollection that I had ever lived. I had no recollection of my life. I had no recollection of anything, but I identified with this thing. And when I came back 15 minutes later, the first thing I told this guy was like, I was gone for hundreds of years. All of a sudden, I had had an experience outside of what I thought was possible with
Yeah.
space and time. And the way I'll describe that to you is you take a picture frame or anything. This is reality. It has these defined edges. And the moment that you have an experience that somehow puts a dot outside the picture frame, it shouldn't exist. There should be nothing outside the frame, but yet there's this
Yeah.
dot outside of it. And then I started doing, especially after my hospitalization stuff, started microdosing with mushrooms. After I got out of the army, I did a couple goes with DMT. Each time it just brought me to this geometric world outside of it. But here's where it gets interesting. when I went down to Ambio to do the Ibogaine and 5-MeO DMT, I'm thinking, all right, this is great. I seem to be really responsive to these
Yeah.
types of medicines.
This episode is brought to you by Titan SARMS. Head on over to titansarms.com and buy a stack today. Use my code CDenny10 to get your first stack. I recommend the Lean Stack too. Start living your best life. Titan SARMS. No junk, no bullshit, just results.
Well, as soon as I did the Ibogaine, I was there. I was kind of paralyzed for 11, 12 hours. I didn't go anywhere.
Fuck.
I didn't really see all that much. I had my intentions, I had my questions, and it was just this really intense feeling. Like every nerve ending on my body was resetting. And the way the medicine came on to me, it was like you take it and you're doing the maracas. And then when they say, when you kind of start to feel like it might be happening, lay back. You're on a heart rate monitor. There's medical staff.
Yeah.
It's top notch. And I felt these little tingles. It was all these little neurons in the back stem of my brain. And then it came over my frontal lobe and I was off. And it was uncomfortable. It was not a psychedelic like anything I had tried before. But going back to what you were talking about, the medicine, right? The medicine was telling me what I needed, not what I wanted, but what I needed. You're trying to control this. Don't control this.
Yep.
This is uncomfortable. Let it be uncomfortable. I'm here to help you. The more you fight it, the worse it's going to be.
Yep.
You have to accept this. And I did. And then towards the end, when I felt like I was coming more to my senses and stuff, I started going through my Rolodex of questions that I had for this altered state. One of them was, I just thought it'd be funny. Like, I'd like to see Jesus. And I saw Jesus pop out of a cloud real quick. Like, okay, I saw Jesus. And then I asked God, I was like, what is the funniest thing I've ever done to make you laugh? And the response I got back was, ask this question. And I started laughing and it hurt. I was like, oh God, don't make me laugh. And literally, God, don't make me laugh. And so I came out of that. I did the 5-MeO DMT the following day. And again, I was expecting to blast off this planet.
Yeah.
But I had done so much work. And what Carl Jung referred to as the dark night of the soul. It's shadow work. It's where you are turning inward, and it's going to you're going to challenge yourself to grow psychologically and spiritually by facing these things in your subconscious that you feel like you're unaware that they're there, but they are there. Like your mom cutting off the head, of your dad, and just these little things that you don't think really have a huge deal to be who you are as a grown ass man, especially years and years, decades down the line.
Yeah.
But when you start doing the work, you realize, oh shit, that has a lot. I'm holding on to a lot of stuff. So you just let it go. Once you acknowledge it, kind of going back, and I'll end it on this, is that, how I was saying, like you drink and this other side of you comes up. Well, it didn't matter how many times I drank and how many times I bawled in front of other dudes. I wasn't consciously there. I never got any of the healing from it. So when I started doing therapy and started working with these medicines that don't make me go away, I'm sitting alone with these thoughts, these feelings, these prior experiences consciously, and I'm acknowledging them. I see you, you're there. That did happen to us. It's okay. I got you. And basically all you're really doing at the end of the day is giving your inner child, your younger self, a hug saying, I know dad wasn't there for us, but I got us now. And I'm sorry I turned my back on you, but I was a young kid and I didn't know what to do with these emotions. Now that I'm a grown man, I got you.
Yeah.
And really that helps every relationship in your life because you've done the inner work, and it's a long process. There is no quick fix to it. There is there is a magic mushroom, but I mean, there's no like one experience that's going to, what it does is it starts a process, and that process, once started, can't be stopped. Like
it's a journey too.
Red pill, blue pill. There's no going back after this.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I don't know what your experience was,
Yeah. I will tell you this, the person you are after the initial treatment with this medicine, you're gonna see the best version of yourself, and you're gonna feel really fucking good. And that's why I always tell guys, like, you need a plan of action, a heading, a course, a map, things that are going to keep you in check, a care plan. I'm going to go to my therapy, my regular
Mhm.
therapy. I'm going to see my providers like normal. I'm going to do all these things to stay on path, because you're going to feel like you're tapping into, like, everybody talks about flow state, and yes,
Mhm.
you don't need to do plant medicine to tap into flow for your creative work, for your school, whatever you're using it. Flow state is achievable. Like, there's actual a methodology that you can use to enter flow state before you go and do a podcast, do artwork, whatever. But
Mhm.
after your engagement with the medicine, flow state is easy like that. You wake up with the intention to do it, to do the things you want to do, and you engage with it. And the best part of you is forward facing. It's right
Yeah.
there. You're not being bogged down by the things that aren't suited for you. The things that you brought up that you don't want to do anymore, the ill. Like, I saw the version of myself, the ugly version, and it was
Mhm.
horrible. It was gross. I acknowledged it, but with compassion and with a face of like, you're me. You're the version of me that I don't like, but you're a version of me too. Like, you're
Mhm.
part of who I am. I don't want to be you. I don't want to engage with you, but I see you. You're the ugly side. I don't want to do that. But if you don't have a plan of action, and if you fuck off and you don't stick to your plan, you don't stick to
Mhm.
your SMART goals, the things you need, goes away like that. I felt it. For 3 weeks, I was fucking crushing life. Boom, boom, boom. This.
That
Nope.
pink cloud
Oh,
experience at the end, like, oh, but
yeah.
you can't stay there. That's not
Yeah.
the human experience.
Yeah.
You can experience it. You can know that there's a better place all around you at any one time, but you have to consciously tap into it, because life is setting you up to do the opposite. That's how you
Yeah.
grow spiritually.
You
It's
got to
a
be willing to
conscious
work.
choice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, when you see yourself slip out of that, like, oh, what are you going to do? Are you going to fall back to drinking? Are you going to go back to all those ill
Yes.
fitting habits? No. The correct response is like, I saw the higher version of myself. I saw that version of me that can work, set the things in motion that need to be set in motion, walk away from things
Mhm.
with, without anger, without malice, and just focus on the good. I could be pissy, I could be moaning, I can go and chase this high and chase it, because I've seen that within our community too. Guys are like, "Fuck, I need to go down there, have another experience, have another." No, 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 no. Lesson learned. You can still be that best and higher version of yourself.
So
Go in
that
there.
was, you
Oh, go
hit on
ahead.
something right there, is that that's what the medicine was telling me.
Yeah,
The other guys to my left and right, they were gone. They were
yeah.
having an amazing experience, some very intense, and I'm just sitting there listening to them going, "Man, this just hurts. This just hurts." But the medicine, this quiet voice came up and goes, "Why would I show you something I've already shown you?"
Yes,
It,
yes,
it's
dude.
like it's like your guardian angel going, "No, you can't stay here. No, you can't keep coming back, cutting the line, trying to stay here. No, you were shown what you needed to be shown, just like they're being shown what they need to be seen. But the more you
Yeah.
come back here and you start trying to abuse this gift, the less and less I'm going to show you."
Yes. Abso-fucking-lutely, abso-fucking-lutely, man. You can't. It is a sacred thing to
Mhm.
experience, and take the lesson, take the journey with you. It's already a small community of individuals that are willing and brave enough to journey into it, to experience it. Take that with you, be an advocate for others that are in pain, that haven't experienced it. But to go back and seek the same answers and wisdom from the medicine, from that the divine entity, don't do it the hard way. Be disciplined, and
Mhm.
understand that you went into something that few people get to do. Now challenge yourself to do it the hard way. The discipline,
Yeah.
crafting the life where it's meditation, prayer, not being bogged down by the disgusting, things they're getting constantly bombarding. One thing that I realized is, what am I doing for others? Am I doing enough? What am I doing to help bring other people to whatever healing journey they need to be on? It's not for
Right.
me to decide. I'm not going to sit there and be like, you need to meditate, you need mindfulness. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I can
Mhm.
want it for you, But the best thing I can do is advocate to seek the path that's right for you. Get on your journey, find it for you,
Absolutely.
because that's the truth. From my journey, what I walk away from is it's not about sure the it was so profound that the next few days, the next few weeks, I was in love with the idea of what I saw. I was in love and trying to recall like those feelings, and that's why it felt so great. I was like that next level. I'm at that higher level. But then when you come out of it and you get a little lazy, you watch a little bit too much Netflix, you see that ugly side of you come back, and you're like, "Oh, I lost it." Maybe you lost the rose-colored lenses. You
Mhm.
lost that ability to say, "Yes, I just did this." That powerful message that you receive is still there with you. Tap into the discipline of working hard, finding your faith, being of service
Exactly.
to somebody else. Do all those things are right in line with that experience. That's what I realized. Like the strongest thing I can do is to pick up my phone, get on my Halo app, and do my friggin' morning prayer, because that's
Mhm.
tapping into it. Like, and I'm not trying to push Catholicism on anybody. I'm just saying, whatever your version of being spiritual, whatever your version of tapping into the higher power is, that's how you can tap into it on a daily basis. Just being focused and present moment awareness for what brings goodness to you. This episode is brought to you by Pure Liberty Labs, quality supplements designed to elevate your health and performance. Check out their full line of quality supplements, whether you're looking for whey protein, pre workout, creatine, or a super greens drink. Pure Liberty Labs has you covered. Use my code SecurityHalt10 at checkout today.
And I will say this is that religion may be a hard no for some people that need
Yeah.
to have a spiritual experience. Um, I went a little backdrop for me. I went to church. I was pulled into church,
Yeah.
as I after my mom and dad broke up, I had nobody to raise me. I was drinking. And all this in middle school. I was, getting
Yeah.
arrested, graduated from the alternative center, freaking. And if it hadn't been for 9/11 happening a couple months after I graduated high school, I probably would have been in prison.
Damn.
I was just on the wrong path. And that gave me something to look at and say,
Yep.
okay. And that's another weird thing, because I really want to talk to vets, is that if you look back on that, if you came from a troubled childhood and you found yourself going to the military, ask yourself this question: why was I such a good soldier or a Marine or airman or sailor when I was a shitty student? But now I can sit down, I can study, I can do whatever I need to do now that I have some discipline. The thing is that when you're angry as a child, you have that hurt child inside of you, growing into its body, all that stuff. And you that hurt child it has two fuel sources. It has rage
Mm-hmm.
and anger. And that's it. And so when you put me on a rugby field, I was a great rugby player. Why? Because this was a great positive outlet for me to let this rage out.
Yeah.
Once I got into the army and there's war to be fought and battle, ah, my real problems didn't start to peek their head out until I had a gap in my service of 3 years.
Mm,
Those 3 years when I went out and before I came back on active duty to finish out, and I loss of identity, loss of
yeah.
purpose, and a lot of bad habits of how I had to cope with just everyday life, drinking, not
Yep.
talking about it. I mean, there's only so many hours you can spend in the gym. And if that still doesn't get all the rage out, well,
Yeah.
guess what? You're going back home with a powder keg, and all it takes is a spark and you blow up, and
Fuck
you're
yeah.
like, why does this keep happening? Well, one of the things that doing these medicines shows you, and this has been the longest part of my journey. It's been exactly probably 2 years at this point of losing my ego, losing my drive, losing
Yeah.
losing myself. And I say this: if you wait long enough, a new fuel source enters your soul and enters your heart. There's love, there's compassion. You realize, okay, there's no more me, so it's not about me. So let me go help other people. And then you find that the moment that you're looking for other people to help, God has been putting them in your path all the time. You just have
Yep.
been so caught up in focusing on yourself, which you have to do sometimes, that eventually you come through and you're like, I don't even have to go look for these people. They're finding me. And that is the miracle. That's
Yeah,
what happens. That's you change your fuel source from hate and anger to love and compassion. Do you still have that other side of you? That,
absolutely.
one of the things I was scared of when I was becoming like kumbaya kind of, you know, talking about stuff that we don't talk about, man. I'm
Yeah,
experiencing things like there's unconditional love out there, and I know it's real. I've never felt more love in my life than when I was there in its presence. But now I go out in traffic, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm not really embodying this experience anymore.
yeah, man. We're human. We're complex creatures, and we have emotions like rage. I just got done with a great chat with Liz Hartman. We were talking about something that I find completely repulsive, and that's people that prey on children. Like
Oh
that
yeah,
dark side of me amplified by a million the moment I had that little girl come into my
mhm.
world. Like just talking to somebody that doesn't understand that there is a definitive line, and you can't cross it, and that, yeah, just having to try to reason with somebody that wanted to advocate for, like, oh, these people still deserve love and compassion, just brought so much hate, anger, and violence into my mind. And I was fortunate. It happened on the way to, it was right before we went to mass. So I immediately, I'm sitting there, I'm driving, I'm like just visualizing all this hate, anger, and the things that I just want to do to shake somebody awake. And the first thing I did was go to confession. Hey, I need to, Father, I need to talk about this. This is all the
Mhm.
things I'm feeling that I need to let it go. It's not good for me, and I'm not practicing and preaching what I ultimately want. Is this good for me? Hell no. Let it go. But I can recognize it. I can recognize that, like, if there's a threat, that warrior within me still there. Felt that.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
think that's the part that guys like us can use your platform to advocate
Yep.
for, is that yeah, I'm a very, very, very different person than I was when we last talked. In
Yeah.
fact, that I believe that person is no longer with us. Like whatever I was then, I put into this book. And even when I go back and read it, I could never write from that again, because I
Perspective. Yeah.
realize it's like a big tall tree in the forest. It's strong, it's rooted, and one day, boom, it falls over and it starts to decay, that long night,
Yeah.
that dark night of the soul. But all these other it feeds the soil, and this new tree sprouts from its ashes. That's what I'm kind of talking about here. But here's the thing. If because we were talking about like, oh, my friend died, and I went right back to drinking, and I had all
Yeah.
these, you know, that was a trained response.
Yeah.
It's not part of my conscious. I've integrated it into my body's circuitry. So that's why it's taken so long and it's so hard. I have to do it every day, do the work to build the
Yep.
repetitions to make my new way of dealing with things the way I am always dealing with things. But when it comes to violence, yeah, I still got it.
Oh yeah. It's
I
still
don't
there.
I don't pray that I ever have to use it. I pray that I can take the higher road. But if I'm forced, or if somebody is, you know, if an evil man is preying on a innocent person, well, you
You're
get to
there.
meet
Yeah.
you get to meet this other side of me too. And I think we all have that. And it's almost
Yep.
like if I let go of all this pain, anger, and violence, who am I? I asked that question to myself. Who am I without all these? This it's all I've known.
Yeah.
But then if you go back, kind of like what you're talking about, and you meditate and you work with the medicine and the counselors, I guarantee at some point you can be a child. You can remember yourself as a child that didn't th- that was just completely content sitting there playing in the dirt, didn't need
Yeah.
anybody to play with them, just totally content. And it's funny that you see children, I think they're very in tune with where they came from, the
Hmm.
spiritual realm. And that's the reason why they're just so alive.
Yeah.
And then as you look into a person in their later years, like in their 80s and 90s, what do you see? That inner child coming back up. Why? Because there's nobody to impress. There's
Yeah.
no amount. You can't take it with you. So what do? You go to the park and you feed the pigeons, and you're totally immersed. Or you go
Yeah.
fishing, or that's it. That's life. All that other stuff in between, that was just your experience. But where you start and where you go, that's
Yeah,
that's what it's about. In my
absolutely,
my
dude.
my opinion, my opinion.
I think so. I want to dive into something that I talk with guys a lot, and that's divorce. Um,
Mhm.
it's easier when you're not healed, in my opinion. When you, because it's certainly a young man hubris to say, "Ah, this doesn't matter. Marriage isn't important. Whatever." So many of us have gone through divorces in our earlier years when we're still setting everything ablaze and we don't care. And what was it like for you going through everything you were going through? And what lessons did you learn now having to go through this divorce, man?
My marriage had become another identity that wasn't really me.
Mm,
I just like I remember like who was I before the army?
yeah.
There was a version of me that was that wasn't a soldier, but now I'm a soldier. Now that's something I did. That's something I picked up along my way.
Yeah.
And then as you start to get into these relationships and you do everything, you try everything. And here's the problem. And I'll speak as a Christian on this one. When you're in a relationship and both parties have trauma and you begin your healing journey and you let God into your life and you start to see things more clearly and you don't begin to engage and react to the same triggers that once caused you just to, word vomit back and forth with the other person. I honestly feel that when my demons could no longer get to me, my my ex's demons started to come after me through her because she started acting completely different at times. Here's the thing though, is that I love her to this day. I have not closed the door on reconciliation. If you love somebody, fight for them. In fact, I'd like to read you one thing, if I may.
Absolutely, man.
I always read Prisoner of War, which is a good one for people to identify with suicidal ideations, but this is one that goes hand in hand with the couples thing. And this is probably the best thing I could say. Um, because I feel kind of wrong for talking about a divorce when the other party's not present
Yeah,
because you're
yeah.
only getting one side of the story. Um, it hurt both ways. But this is something I wrote and that you can find in the book. It's called Something About Your Man. Little lady, let me tell you something about your man. I met him way back in Afghanistan. On the outside, he's a strong man, but on the inside, he's a hurt man. He's a lion when he holds you tight, but he's also a creature of the night, needing a pack to go run with and just have some good fun with. But God knows we can never, ever take your place. Yes, hallelujah and amazing grace. You've got a love that's so true, your man just wants to hold you, long into every cool, dark night. But when the moon is full and bright, he hears his inner wolf howl deep inside. He doesn't want you to ever see that side, so he runs with his pack long into the night. But he's never, ever far away. With you is where he longs to stay. But you married a man and loved him all the way through Afghanistan. He's really trying to come home, but he needs his space to still go roam. God, I know he loves you, but he's trying to find a love for himself too. He knows it's somewhere deep down inside of him, but his demons still fight him as he dreams into the night. Trust me when I say you two are stronger together. Your man's going to love you now and forever. But everything he's currently going through is in some strange way his attempt to find a way back to you. But he still howls at the full moon, but he prefers roaring by the fire in your living room. He just needs to find peace between the tempers of both his beasts. Just give him this needed time, little lady, he's going to be just fine. I also had to face demons of my own, and I didn't get through any of it on my own. All I can say, little lady, about your man who I met way back in Afghanistan is that he's a good man who adores you, and your love is worth fighting for.
Yeah, it's powerful, man.
Somebody out there needed to hear that at this time. Fight for it. Fight for it and know that you can only fight your fight.
Yeah.
They have to fight their fight too. And if you need to live apart, live apart. If you need a divorce and to start fresh someday, that may be what's best too. And if you both just need to go your separate ways, it is all it's benefiting both parties, even though it hurts.
Yeah.
And it's going to be okay regardless, because you're on your path, your journey.
Yeah.
And there's some things that no one can ever take away from you. That's why my next book, I'm thinking about calling it the Long Road Home.
Mm,
The home
I like
is
that.
that part inside of you that when you realize that the thing that you're always searching for outside here in the world isn't out there to be found, it's actually in here.
Yeah.
And you're like, as long as you own that. Have you ever met a person that is just so zen, so
Yeah.
grounded, so like nothing could have the building behind them could be burning, and they're just like, wow, it's really pretty. Like it just nothing affects them. And it's because they are deeply rooted in that inner space where the outside world can do little or nothing to influence their inner peace. This Is Me Over was me starting my journey. The Long Road Home is what I've been going through for these last 2 years. And if it hadn't been for my faith in God, it hadn't been for my friends checking in on me, if it hadn't been for this gift that I received just out of nowhere, maybe one too many TBIs, and all of a sudden I could write. Like I never wrote prior to all those headbangs, those. And then all of a sudden I come through it, and I met Marcus Luttrell down there. I didn't know really who he was at the time, but he looked at me and he goes, you look the part. And I go, I feel the part. And so he's like, I heard you wrote a book. I was like, yeah, I got one in my bag somewhere. And he read it. He's like, where the hell have you been? And I was like, I've been around. I'm just,
Just
and
a
so
guy.
just a guy, man. And so he introduced me to his publicist, and they're the ones that published the book. So it's like,
Nice.
yeah, it's 3 years old, but it's just now getting its day in court, so to say.
Yeah.
And I did a podcast with them on the Team Never Quit, episode 418, with
Hell
him and his
yeah.
wife Melanie. All of them, they are amazing. But that's it. I asked God, I need help, and I need you to put the right people in my path. A
Yeah.
week later, a friend of mine passed on an opportunity, but instantly thought of me. No one else called me. A month later, I'm in Tijuana meeting the former governor of Texas, Marcus Luttrell, these great dudes that are on the same path. But here's the difference is I saw these other 3 guys, they were Green Berets and one Ranger, and they were just now beginning their path that I had started during this.
Yeah.
And when I did that 5-MeO DMT, I went to the cosmos, but I didn't leave my body.
Yeah.
I didn't lose consciousness. I could still hear the dog barking outside. I was in the room. I was describing it. And when I kind of like came up, both the people that were sitting there helping me, they were crying. They were like, that was beautiful, man. And one of the guys, he's like, I watch people do this stuff all the time. He goes, oh, you're really close to becoming enlightened. And I thought, oh, great. I checked that off the fucking thing. But you know what enlightened is? Where we're at today,
Yeah.
helping other people. That's it. And the moment that I say, okay, talk to you later, thanks for having me on, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to be challenged to put my faith first.
Yeah.
Just to see the good in the world. It's easy to see the bad. It's easy to see the bad. It's easy to get into the partisan politics and all that other stuff. It's easy to lose hope. But we serve a God that it's all been foretold. It's all been written. You have your part to play. Play your part.
It's infinitely harder, but better to seek out the good and then be of service to other people around you. Be a guiding light, man. Like you don't have to be 100%. And you never really will be 100%. You just have to get past that 70. I think when you're at 75, 80%, you got enough weapon systems in the fight. You've got enough fuel in the tank to be on your journey, to know what right is, to choose the right over the wrong. And you can start helping a lot of people. And all it takes is a text message, a phone call. The trick is to stay present, stay grounded. The moment you get too wrapped up around friggin', like for me, homework and podcasting and editing and producing, the moment I tell myself like this is the most important fucking thing. Lose sight of that text message of a friend trying to reach out. I lose sight of that phone call where somebody really needs that hype man, that person that will just like be there for them,
Mhm.
just 100% just be willing to just sit there and revel in their success. Man, people are wanting to connect with you. Don't get so sucked up in your own journey. You miss out on that. You be there for others. That's the greatest thing you
Here's
can do.
I 100% agree. But there's a time and a place for. So here's one thing I will caveat. Over probably the last since January, since my
Yeah.
Ibogaine and all that treatment, I have been a bit of a hermit. I walk every day. I'm out there engaging. I
Yeah.
tend to spend more time around people that don't know me, just passerbys, than people who do know me. And there's a reason for that. It's that I am rebooting.
Yeah.
And when I'm around people from the motorcycle club, when I see guys that I used to be in group with, when people who know me from, my
Yeah. Yeah.
marriage, it's super hard for me
That's
because I
hard.
feel this, I need to put on this old identity so we
Yeah.
can engage. And I'm
Don't do that.
choosing,
Don't do
but I'm
that.
not, but here's the thing. I'm not isolating myself to sit here and drink
Yeah.
myself stupid. I'm not, I see the pros and cons and there is a time where you need to have a healthy isolation with it's just
Yeah.
you and your creator,
Space.
you and your creator. And once that relationship is your foundation, all other relationships can be supported from that
Yeah.
relationship.
And
And
that's
I think
hard for
that's,
guys to hear. That's hard because when guys get faced or they start facing a challenge, they're going through a divorce or going through a midlife crisis, everybody wants them to go out and be around other people, go to the nightclubs, go to the Red Door, have
yeah,
a drink.
I
No,
can't do that.
let people be. Let people find the way. Be there for them. Cook them a meal. Find a
Hmm.
different way to be supportive instead of just constantly bombarding them with invites to go to places where they might not be ready to go to. You're
Yeah,
right on the spot.
I had to tell someone the other day, I was like, hey, listen, I am not trying to be rude. I just, I don't want to be around a lot of people. And it's not because I'm depressed. It's because that's
Yeah.
what stage I'm in right now. I'm allowing my roots to grow. So, but here's the thing. I told a counselor after the divorce, she goes, what went wrong? And I was like, honestly, um, I think my biggest sin was I gave my ex-wife a love and trust that you should only give to your creator, God. When I loved her and I still love her. And it was such an intense love. And I would give anything. I would drop anything. I would do anything for you. But what happens when you put that kind of faith and trust in another flesh and blood, flawed human being like yourself,
Yeah.
you're always going to be disappointing each other. Some of the best relationships I find are people that had a strong foundation in their faith.
Yeah.
Then they met. And that's the thing is that when the guy is, not doing so well, she still has her number one support system, which is her faith in God and vice versa. But when your faith is in two mortal people, get ready for heartbreak
Yeah.
because once that relationship falls apart or it's no longer as secure as it once was, you're going to be grabbing at straws, trying to go
Yeah.
out to bars and just make yourself forget how chaotic your life is. And none of it ever helps
Yeah.
the real problem.
Yeah, man. That's the
Only
absolute
you
truth.
can only you can prevent forest fires. I feel like that should come in.
I do want to say, I do want to throw in this plug out there. Fight for your marriage, fight for each other. If
Amen.
you're a soft guy and finding resources for everybody, just let me plug this one is Green Beret specific, Special Forces Foundation. Reach out today. The information will be in the episode description. They can get you and your spouse to do a stellate ganglion block. You won't have to cover any of the fees. You won't have to cover for travel. It will take care of you. And oftentimes what people don't understand is all the stress, the PTSD, the stuff that you're dealing with, you're coming home, dropping it off on your wife. So two of you need help. Two of you need a resource. And the Special Forces Foundation can help you. If you identify that your wife is saying things like, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, I feel like you're a tyrant, don't get angry. Give her some grace and allow her to vent. Understand that we're not always as understanding and kind as we think we are when we're in our job. You deserve to heal. You deserve recovery, and the Special Forces Foundation can help you today. Reach out to them, ask them about cellular ganglion block treatment, and let them know that you and your wife need it. And it has saved countless marriages, has saved countless lives. I'm a big believer in it. So please, guys, if you're soft, if you're a Green Beret, get help today. Don't struggle anymore. There's
Reach out to SOCOM.
yeah,
They have reps that will, everybody who's tied into the special operations community, like that trifecta study that was coordinated through SOCOM. And if you want to go to another nonprofit, it's vetsolutions.org.
yeah,
Those are the guys. Those are the guys. After I did my treatment, we meet every Monday, and it's nothing but a bunch of guys that
yeah,
have been through treatment. And you see it, man. You see the guys coming out on the pink cloud, like, oh my God, I
yeah,
met God. And then some guys, like, I'm out of treatment for over a year or two now, and life keeps hitting, but I'm so much better than I was, especially
yeah.
since I have a community that I can share these things with, that understand what I've been through and how hard it is to stay in this sweet spot.
Exactly. And fun fact, they're a partner organization with the Special Force Foundation. So you can reach out to Special Force
Oh,
Foundation and
nice.
get plugged in with them, which is fucking awesome. There's so
Yeah,
many. Yeah.
Moose runs it. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Any guy named Moose is
Anybody.
going to be a cool dude. I don't care what his backdrop story is.
Yeah. So, dude, what are you doing now? Are you still in Northwest Florida?
Yeah, man. I'm still right here
Yeah.
in Niceville, Florida.
Nice.
I didn't see any reason to move away or any of
Yeah.
that. I just kind of said, no, I want to be close just in
Yeah.
case. But I also, this is a perfect spot for me because there's enough people around here that I know that if I need somebody,
Yep.
they can be there for me, and vice versa. And my doctors are here. Here's an interesting thing about the Ibogaine experience was 3 weeks after my Ibogaine experience, I was in California. The next thing they send you to is magnetic resonance therapy.
Mm.
Basically, what that is, they map your brain the way it's
Yeah.
firing. They show you on this little chart what it should look like, which is this whoop, and mine was like beep. And then over the next 7 weeks after Ibogaine, because what Ibogaine's doing is resetting your nerve endings, your nervous system. And then they use these magnetic pulses. You basically put a thing over your head, you sit in a chair, and for about like 15 minutes a day, you're getting zapped 5 days a
Wow.
week. But what they're showing you, they're doing these imaging things, and over the 7 weeks, you'll see your alpha and delta waves are becoming optimal.
Yeah.
And then after that, during that, they also allow you to go on hormone replacement therapy.
Nice.
So I
Bro.
didn't get a chance to do that. I actually called them up a couple weeks ago because I was like, hey, everybody else got to go on this hormone replacement thing. I just thought that my levels were good and I didn't need it. That's why they're like, no, we dropped the ball. Sorry. You should be on it. And so I'm about 3 weeks into that right now. And my mood,
Yeah.
my recovery, my focus, my need for caffeine or anything like that. Anyway, the point I was going to try to make with the Ibogaine real quick was 3 weeks after I had this experience, I woke up in the middle of the night, thought I needed something to eat. So I went downstairs at the house there in San Diego and opened the fridge. Like, I'm not fucking hungry. I went back upstairs and I was like, I hadn't touched any of my meds since this, but I had them in the drawer and I opened it up. I was like, maybe I'll just take a Lunesta so I can sleep. And as soon as I opened that drawer and I saw like 12 bottles of pills,
Yeah.
I got sick to my stomach. I walked right into the bathroom and I dumped all 12 bottles of pills into the toilet and flushed it.
Yeah.
And I didn't need to get back on pills. Like,
It's one of the worst things that we've done to our veteran community is forced an artificial heavy reliance on pharmaceuticals. By and large, I understand there's a place for them in extremis, in a crisis moment when you need to bring somebody down. But to tell an entire generation of veterans that they need to live with a giant brown paper bag of medications is fucking criminal, man. It's absolutely fucking criminal. I wish more people would look at the importance and the power of discipline, the importance of advocating for yourself, asking to downgrade, to maybe shift medication, to lower the dosage. One of the biggest things out there is people complaining of pain, and I understand it. I deal with chronic pain too. Understand
Oh
pain
yeah.
dissipates. It
I've got
dissipates.
I got 2 artificial discs in my back. I
Yeah.
mean, so here's the thing, and I mentioned it in one of the later parts of the actually, did I take that part out? Either way, one of the
I got the
things
original
is
book, so we can
yeah,
find
you
out.
got the original, it's in there. So the point is that I ask people, like, just imagine, I want you to
Yeah.
consider this. Just consider that you're not the rank you picked up in the military, you're not the size of your bank account, you're not your trophies, you're not your rings, you're not your awards, you you're not these things that you pick. These are all
Yeah.
things that you pick up in life, but they're not you. And I ask him, consider getting some help. Consider, and this is the big one, that your physical pain is somehow possibly tied to your emotional pain.
Yep.
And when emotionally you don't get the hint that you need to heal yourself emotionally, the body can say, well, I'm going to manifest pain in other areas. Like,
Yep.
I still have arthritis in almost every joint. I still pop and squeak as I walk, but
Yeah.
I am not in constant pain anymore.
Yeah.
And the real pain, the reason why I got addicted to opioids and the reason why I was all this other stuff was because I was trying to numb an emotional pain. Yeah, I had spasms in my back and nerves being pinched. Yeah, I got it. That hurts. And when that happens, yeah, it helps to have one of these. But the fact that I was taking these pills every day, even though my back wasn't always hurting every day,
Exactly.
it was the emotional pain I was trying to numb. So just food for thought there.
Absolutely, man. Dude, spot on. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's everybody listening. Challenge yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So many lessons from this podcast right now. But the one thing I want to leave you out with is listen to the narrative you're telling yourself. Listen to the narrative that you're telling yourself every day. I'm always in pain. I'm always miserable. This life that I'm living in, it's so horrible. You can tell yourself, and your reality you'll create that reality.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, be aware for one day, be really present and listen to how you describe your day. It's fucking horrible. Don't be the guy that's constantly saying stuff like that. Look for the good. Fun fact. This is
Here's a
studied.
fun fact.
This is a known thing, man. Gratitude in the morning and at night.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about perspective changing. Force yourself this week. This week, when I drop this on, I want to challenge you as you're listening to this. Start recording the things you're grateful for and your wins for the day. Just do it. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let me know how good you feel at the end of the week. Let me know how good you start feeling when you keep doing that. Hit me up, setcallpodcast@gmail.com. Tell me I'm a piece of shit for telling you to do it, or hit me up and say, Denny, Clint, you guys are right. Life's a little bit better when you focus on the good. Trust
Mm-hmm.
me, brothers and sisters, it is. Focus on the good. No matter how hard you're going to dig through all that shit you're going through, focus on one good thing. Focus on one amazing thing in your life you can be grateful for, and it will multiply. Because as the great John Kabat-Zinn says, if you are still breathing, there's more going right in your life than there is wrong. Brother, I can't thank you enough for being here today. One more time, where can people connect with you? And more importantly, where can we go to get this book?
I don't know. I'm not a big social media guy stuff. Maybe I'll do a podcast one day. I thought about it though. As I was sitting down here with you, I thought about, like, maybe I should do a podcast. We'll call it Duly Noted. That'll be like duly noted. Just like duly noted.
The name's
Yeah.
already there.
No, but you can go. This isn't the actual book. I don't even have a copy of the most version.
Oh, you don't?
This is me over. No, I gave them all away. I got a box of them, and next thing you know, I'm like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And then I'm sitting down to do this, and I'm like, I don't even have my most. Someone buy me a copy of my book, please.
Is it on Amazon?
If so, yeah, it's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million. You can go right to the ballastbooks.com.
Oh, hell yeah.
And but anyway, I even did an audio book. I read it to you guys because there's so many guys out there like myself. Like, I'm a writer, but I don't like to read. And a lot of guys are like, that's weird, right?
I love to read now. Ever since I finally got help, and I got, shout out again to friggin', all the great doctors have helped me. The greatest thing is when you get that gift to be able to read again and focus. Like,
Yeah.
man, like, I hate being temporarily removed from Florida in our own big house. I don't have nearly as much space, and my book collection has grown infinitely since we last saw each other. But man, love to read. So I'll go and get the new version and compare it to the old version and give you my
You'll
notes.
see all the stuff I take out of it. Yeah. The last thing I'll say is that this is I know it's reversed right now, but it basically says be the best version of you.
Nice.
That's it. That's the simplest thing I can say is like everything that you're doing should be in line with trying to become the best version of you. You're not going to ever be perfect. You're not going to be the next Messiah. You're not but you have it within you to be the best version of you.
Absolutely.
And just there's two things. It doesn't have to be better and people will want it just because it's different. So always be asking yourself, is this better or is this just different? Everybody seems to be okay with it being different, but not any better. And the next one is that when everybody's sucked into the problem, it happened at Team Week, like, fuck, we forgot to get the polls and now we're running behind time, this, that, and the other. Well, everybody's constantly going to be saying, I wish we just had this one thing. I wish we just had this one thing. Just one thing, one thing, one thing. Be the person that always looks around and says, what do we have and how can I use it to achieve a similar result? And you'll always be the one in the room or in the problem set that finds a solution based off what you have, not what you wish you had.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's important when you're looking at all these different programs that you can throw yourself into, all these different, what is best for you?
Yeah.
Maybe you have a strong religious belief that you're like, I don't want to do anything like mind altering or anything like that. That's fine. There's other programs. There's many ways to find a solution. Just get plugged in with the people that know a lot of these people, and all they're trying to do is help.
Hell yeah, brother. Dude, again, thank you so much for being here, brother, and for staying on your journey. That's the best thing we can do to help other people find theirs and stay on track. To everybody listening, please do me a favor. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And we'll see you all next time. Well, then, take care.
Love you, Danny. Be good, guys. Cheers.
Take care. Secured Out Podcast is proudly sponsored by Titan SARMS. Head to the episode description and check out Titan SARMS today.